we walked into this expecting people to be out there, not necessarily in our church, but for there to be plenty of people looking at us like we are the stupidest people in the world for doing this. You know, we have a brand new baby, we have an older daughter, we have these responsibilities at home, and you're gonna quit your jobs to start this business. And for the church not to be that, for leaders to agree with us in prayer and to be covering us in prayer, that made all the difference. Because there is a little bit of part of you, the scared part of you, that just sort of thinks, well, maybe if they say something, then we don't have to do this.
We were in an audit, being audited by the IRS. I was looking at all the expenditures that from everybody from the president on down, how they were just spending millions and millions of dollars, and they were coming after me for $288, and I was ticked. So I was just like, I'm not paying this. I'm gonna fight this. This isn't right. Letters back and forth for 13 months, and I got to the point where I was just like, I'm just tired of fighting this. Let's just pay this and just be done with it. The next day, I went to get the mail, and I got a letter from the IRS. Like a week later, I got a check for what they owed me plus interest.
So the pivotal moment when we got that money back from the IRS audit, that was the exact amount we needed to pay for his real estate classes. There was no question where that money needed to go. You get attacked by all sorts of doubt, and probably the biggest one is, did you really hear God's voice, or was that just you being hopeful?
I was gonna say, and then once we got through those things and got past that, the big punch to me in the gut was the cancer.
I'd been suffering from these mouth sores for 10 years with no answers.
Sometimes she couldn't talk just because it hurt so bad.
I couldn't drink water. I couldn't eat. I was in pain, and I would just also, the anguish of not knowing what's wrong with me.
Finally, she had enough. She thought it was an abscessed tooth, and so she went to a dentist. The dentist, they did x-rays and stuff. There's no cavity. There's not an abscess, but I'm concerned about this mouth sore. Gave her a name of like one of her professors.
We didn't have insurance.
So
I emailed the guy.
We took pictures of the mouth sore, and she emailed him, and he contacted her and says, you need to come in. And we went in, they did a biopsy, which cost like $1,300. We scraped it together. It came back, it was cancer. And they said it was also surrounding the nerve on the tongue, which if they didn't get it taken care of, it would cause, obviously taste, but also speech, movement, swallow, everything.
Just the hospitalization alone with
not any doctor, not any medicine,
no
not
anesthesia,
a room, no drugs, no nothing. It was like $32,000.
And that was with a 50%
prepay
discount. Prepaid, and that was to pay for a surgery in 2 weeks.
She looked at me and just in tears, and it's like, how are we going to do this? And I said, I have no idea. But he pulled us aside and said, look, I'm not worried about the money. I'm fine. We're going to get this done.
I felt teased because finally I had a diagnosis, and I can't do anything about it. Within what was supposed to take 2 weeks, within 2 hours, we got a phone call to say that we'd been approved for the surgery. I said, okay, well, how much is it going to cost? And they said, $25. I said, okay, well,
Times
what?
How many thousands?
Yeah, like, what else? And she said, parking?
Even the song Oceans, there are things in that song there that they're talking about, like Peter getting out of the boat, walking on the water and sinking.
Her grace Your grace abounds in deepest waters.
Yeah.
Your sovereign hand will be my guide.
Yeah, that one.
Where feet may fail and fear surrounds me.
That's the biggest one.
You've never failed.
Well, also the declaration of you won't stop now.
You won't stop now. And that's hard to believe when you don't physically see what God is doing, and we're thinking this is all about a financial provision. And that's what this is about. So when you take a step of faith and money is starting to get down, and when your business things just aren't happening, and days go by, and then weeks go by, and then months go by, and nothing is happening in your business that you're pouring everything into, and you're sitting there wondering, what is this? Why is nothing happening? Why is my business not being blessed? Why is money not coming in? Why are we in this position? It's not what I expected at all. And so when you're in that position and you've got this song, talking about, how His grace abounds, and it really gets you in this position where all you have is God. And so God took us through this journey, and really He was purging us of so much more than finances, because our finances were getting purged. And when you're in the position of, because you took a step of faith, this wasn't like, we weren't forced out of our jobs, we weren't laid off. We made this decision. And so you tend to take on that guilt because you did this, but you got to remember you brought it on yourself. So when you have a child with eczema and you can't afford to go to the store and buy her soap that she needs, and you don't know where the next roll of toilet paper is coming from, trying to decide, which utility is most important, or we just started selling off. We sold so many things that we just it was like a sinking ship, and you just had to throw overboard whatever you could.
The toughest thing that we sold, and it was the toughest one mostly for me, was we had to sell a wedding ring.
God was purging us of the reliance on stuff and the reliance on money. He does hear my cries, even when I cannot at all see what He's doing. He's there. He loves me, and He loves me so much to not allow me to settle for my own plan.
But because, I always believed that, God does miracles. Yes, He does. And I've seen Him do stuff in my life. But I'd kind of gotten to the point, it's like, but would He still do stuff for me?